NBA teams have to make an investment when they pick these players. We talked about this might be one of the best freshman classes of all time. AJ Dybantsa, Darryn Peterson, Cam Boozer, Caleb Wilson. You have a Darius Acuff at Arkansas, Kingston Fleming. I'm going to also say this Elijah Arenas kid, Gilbert Arenas' son. Okay? I'm talking about a hooper. We're going to talk about hoopers today. Elijah Arenas, he is quickly rising up my board. And then Bleacher Report came out with their top 99 NFL quarterbacks of all time. I got a couple of things I want to say about that list. That's coming up next on this episode of the Coach Cherry Show.
It's light work. Watch me do what I do. It's really light work.
When you talk, there's a lot of talk about the NBA draft this year. Who's number one? Who's number one? Who's the top 3 or 4 or 5 picks? I want to talk about, first of all, the Darryn Peterson situation. I don't know what the situation is with Darryn Peterson. He's missed 11 games this year. And even some of the games he's been in, I was watching when they played BYU. He didn't play at all in the second half. Another game recently he checked himself out of. You know, if that's going to be your number one pick, I don't know. He's not playing every night. Now, if there's something going on behind the scenes, I'm not saying we as the public have to know that. But listening to Coach Bill Self in a post-game conference, he talked like he was surprised that Peterson came out. He said, the kid was playing well. I thought he was going to have a big night. Peterson knocks down a three-pointer and then looks at Coach Self and says, take me out. Now there's so much speculation going on. Like, people don't know, is he hurt? Is there an injury that's not being talked about? Is he load managing? Now, if you're load managing in college, is there something going on behind the scenes? Some have even questioned, is it mental health? Is he trying to preserve his body for the NBA? I don't know. I don't know what it is. But whatever it is, if I'm an NBA team, I got to know before I make that pick. And I'm going to be honest with you. Even if I'm an NBA team and I find out what it is, the fact that he doesn't play consistently, I am very hesitant. A number one pick? I don't know about that. Especially in a draft that's this deep, where, if this were a weak draft, I may take a gamble on it. Like, nobody else is on the board. It's really that. But when I look and I see an AJ Dybantsa sitting there, and I see a Cam Boozer, and I see a Caleb Wilson, and like I talked about earlier, Elijah Arenas, Gilbert's son, I don't have to take. I watched Darryn Peterson play. And I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be very honest with you. I'm not big on his game. I'm not. I'm just not big on it. I'm not big on his game. He may turn out to be an all-time great. And you may say, Coach Cherry, you missed it on that one. You know what? You're right. That means I just missed it on that one. I'm not big. He's not a point guard, but he looks like he's 6'2", 6'3"-ish as a 2. I don't know about that. I haven't seen playmaking ability that I think transfers to the next level for him to be elite. If I take you with the number one pick, I'm not asking you to be a role player. You're supposed to come in and be the guy. If I want a role player, I'll take that later in the draft. Not as top 5, you got to come in and produce. So I don't know if I've seen, and then the concern is, most likely he's going to go to a bad team. Has he shown that he can elevate a team? I don't know if I tell you who has shown that, AJ Dybantsa. Now, we saw Richie Saunders get hurt for BYU out for the season, I believe, with an ACL. BYU played Iowa State this weekend. Iowa State is ranked number 6 in the country. BYU is ranked 23. Iowa State is the favorite. AJ Dybantsa leads BYU to a win over Iowa State, a team that's almost in the top 5. Dybantsa scores 29 points, grabs 10 rebounds, and kicks out 9 assists. Give me that player right there. Huh? That's the player that I want. You said, why do you want that player, Coach? I'm going to say this. And if you win a national championship, now this may not be popular. I get it. This may not be popular. If you win a national championship in college, I'm not sure if I want you on my team in the NBA.
What? What?
Let me say that. Let me say it this way. I'm not sure I want you leading my team in the NBA. Because, see, when you play for it, it's the same thing in football. Basketball, football, it's the same thing. When you are the guy on a national championship team, most nights you had the best team on the floor. I don't know if I like a player coming from that. I want a player that didn't have the best team. Why do you say that, Coach Cherry? Because I want that player to have elevate his team. To get like what Dybantsa did against Iowa State. Iowa State has the better team. They're ranked number 6 in the country. BYU is 23rd. Dybantsa said, you know what? I don't really care about that. That's fine. Let me elevate my teammates. We're going to win this basketball game. That's the player that I want. I don't want you coming. See, I think Bryce Young for the Panthers had to make that adjustment. In college, he played at Alabama, and they pretty much had the best team on the field every Saturday. You go to the Panthers, and initially they stink, and you ain't used to that. You've always had the best receivers. You've always had the best offensive linemen. You've had the best running backs. You've had the best defense. And now you go to Carolina, and they don't have that. So now you got to adapt and say, whoa, I got to elevate my play because I got to elevate the players around me. But I said this in football. I don't want a quarterback that won a national championship in football. Okay. Well, you tell me, look, and we go, you know what? I'm going to save that. I'm going to save that for later. Because when we start talking about all-time greats at quarterback, they didn't win national championships in football. But let's table that for it. I'm going to get to that in a few minutes. Basketball. Who won OKC just won the NBA Finals last year. SGA did not win a national championship at Kentucky. No, he didn't. No, he did not. Not SGA. I'll take that player. You know why? Because he didn't have the best team. So he had to hoop every night. He couldn't take a night off. Give me your champions. Give me your NBA. Steph Curry. Steph Curry didn't win a national title in college. No, he didn't. Steph Curry did not have the best team on the floor. So you know what that means? He's used to playing at a disadvantage. Now, somebody might say, well, Coach Cherry, I want somebody that knows how to win. I get that. I want a winner too. Steph took Davidson to the Elite Eight, so he knows how to win. SGA had Kentucky in the NCAA tournament, so they won games. I don't want a player coming from a trash team. But if you're good enough to take a regular team to the playoffs, to the tournament, I'll take that guy. Because he knows how to lead. LeBron didn't even play in college. He ain't won no national title. Nikola Jokic didn't play in college. Luka Doncic didn't play in college. They don't know anything about a national championship. Nothing. I'll take that player. Who won with Boston? Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown? No national championship in college. None. That's the player that I want. Because they've been through, as the younger people say, they've been through the mud. They know what it's like to be at a disadvantage. I ain't got the best team on the floor every night. Con Knipple at Duke, no national title. Look at him now. Look at Con Brandon Miller, Alabama. Alabama was a really good team. I think they were number 1 seed. No national title. I'll take him. If I'm making a pick today, I think AJ Dybantsa has to be the number. And then in the Iowa State game, he played all 40 minutes. Don't take me out, Coach. Because I got to lead my team to victory. Don't take me out. No, I don't want to come out. I got to lead my team to victory. Cam Boozer. He's one I'm trying to figure out. Because Cam Boozer puts up numbers. I'm just not a fan of his game. I don't want another Danny Ferry or Christian Laettner. I don't know if I want that. I, I don't know if I want his dad, Carlos. Solid NBA. But if I take Cam Boozer number one, I want more than Carlos. I want him to be better than his dad. Now, if I take him number one, I don't want Carlos. I want something. I don't want to diss Carlos's game because Carlos was a hooper. He was on the Olympic team. I think Carlos made the All-Star game once or twice. Carlos had a very good NBA career. But if I take you number one, I want more than that. I want more than that now. What makes it tough about Cam Boozer is he's putting up such great numbers in college. It's tough not to take him. But see, when I watch the game, yeah, I want to see numbers. I get that. I want to see your game, though. See, that's why when I watch Dybantsa, I see game. I see snatchbacks. I see stepbacks. I see mid-range pull-ups. I see getting to the basket, reverse layups. I see him finishing on top of people at the rim. I saw him Saturday against Iowa State, and this is what really impressed me. He was playmaking for his teammates. He finished with 9 assists. I'll take him. I like Caleb Wilson. Caleb Wilson has a high motor. I think Caleb has high upside. Caleb Wilson also has that dog mentality. Caleb Wilson feels like he's the best player on the floor. I love that. And he's very athletic. Like once he adds a little more to his bag, a little more to his skill set, he's going to be tough. I like Kingston Flemings in Houston. I like Darius. I like Darius Acuff. I'm still trying to figure out is that going to translate to the NBA. If I'm a college coach, I take Darius Acuff all day. NBA, he's a smaller guard. Oh, wonderful skill set. Wonderful game. He's just smaller. I don't know how I feel about that. Elijah Arenas. He didn't start the season because he had the car accident. Bad car accident. So he missed the first half of the season. Elijah Arenas is going to get USC into the NCAA tournament. And when you watch him play, you see a hooper. You see handles. You see jump shot. You see I can create my own shot. You see instincts. When I'm driving, I can kind of sense where the help is coming from. I got a counter move already ready. I'm talking about that's the kind of kid that grew up playing at the rec center on the play. Elijah Arenas is climbing up my draft board to the point I have him as a first. He's a lot. He's not. If I'm selecting, he's not getting out the first round. Matter of fact, what is it? 32 teams in the NBA. He's not going out the top 20. Now, in another week or two, I'm gonna have him in the lottery. It's not a large sample size because he's just getting on the court. From what I've seen from Elijah Arenas, he's a top 10 talent. Now, you may feel like he doesn't have the resume yet because he doesn't have a lot of games under his belt. But the games that I've seen him play, if we're just basing it off talent, he's top 10. No, he's right up there with Acuff, Fleming. He's top 10. You talking about Elijah Arenas? He's top 10. Now, the Hornets won against the Wizards. Shout out to Anthony Gill. Anthony Gill don't get enough love. Anthony Gill's from Charlotte playing for the Wizards. He's starting right now. AG don't get enough love. Shout out to AG. That's my guy. LaMelo Ball. Since we're talking about hoopers, let's go ahead and stay in this lane right here. LaMelo Ball dropped 37 tonight. 37. LaMelo Ball had, make sure I get my numbers right, 8 rebounds and 7 assists. LaMelo Ball made 10 3-pointers. 10. Now, I know some people look at the shot and they say it's a funny looking shot. You can, whatever you want. I tell you what, you better get there and guard it. And I don't think he's playing around. Some people say it looks like he's playing around with the 1 foot. I think that's his shot. I just think he doesn't have a traditional 1-2 step into the shot. He just doesn't have that. And that's fine. Look, if you're going to go 10 for 50, I don't care how it looks. If you're going to shoot 10 for 15 from three, I don't care what it looks like. You can push it from your chest. If it's going to make 10 3-pointers, then you shoot the way you shoot. But I tell you this, LaMelo Ball is a hooper. LaMelo Ball goes into my theory of no national championship. He just played high school basketball, played overseas for like a year or so, whatever. He's a hooper. Instincts, awareness. The only thing that LaMelo Ball had to do was stay healthy. That's all. I'm not going to say there was nothing wrong with his game, but you got to remember, he's still young. He's 23, 24. LaMelo Ball just needed to stay on the court. That's it. The Charlotte Hornets tonight, period. Look at this, y'all. Look at the Charlotte Hornets box score. Because they shot, as a team, they shot over 50% from three. They beat Washington 129 to 112. Okay, wonderful. Con Knipple, 5 of 9 from three. Brandon Miller, 5 of 7 from three. LaMelo Ball was there 10 of 15. Tijon Salon, 2 of 2 from three. Josh Green, 2 of 4. They shot the ball well. Ryan Kalkbrenner, 9, led the team in rebounding. Since the Moose is loose, is out. And so Charlotte did exactly what they were supposed to do. What do you mean, Coach Cherry? They went 2-2. With Miles Bridges and Moussa Diabate out for 4 games, Charlotte did exactly what they were supposed to do. 2-2. The 2 losses were to Houston and Cleveland. Got no problem with that. Those are going to be tough teams to beat at full strength. But shorthanded, and they played Houston. They only lost by 4 to Houston. Like, they were still competitive. Like, I know Charlotte did exactly what they were supposed to do. 2-2. Good job. They're sitting at 10th right now. They're in the play-in. They're half a game behind Atlanta, who's 9th. I expect them to, with Miles and Moussa coming back, I expect them to pass Atlanta and lock up. I think they're going to lock up the 9th spot, and they'll be the 9th spot for the play-in. That's my prediction, which is fine. You host the play-in game. And if Charlotte gets to host that play-in game, that Spectrum Center is going to be jumping. Get your tickets as soon as they go on sale. That Spectrum Center is going to be jumping. And most likely they'll play Atlanta in that play-in game. And if they win that play-in game, as soon as you step out that arena, Uptown's going to be live. Uptown is going to be live. I was looking at Bleacher Report. They put out a list of their top 99 quarterbacks of all time. That's interesting. Interesting. Why you say it's interesting? Because a lot of this stuff is situational, y'all. Like when you talk about quarterbacks, you got to have talent, but you got to be in a good situation. You got to be in a good. So when you rank these quarterbacks, anytime I'm evaluating players, I always consider the situation that they're. What do you mean? When you keep saying situation, Coach, what do you mean? What kind of coaching staff are they playing for? What kind of talent do they have around them? Is that coach putting that player in the best position for them to succeed? Does that player have enough talent around them to succeed? I can't compare you at quarterback for the New York Jets when the team ain't no good versus a quarterback that's playing for Andy Reid in the Kansas City. I can't compare. That's not fair. That wouldn't be fair. You don't have a line. That's not fair. No, I'm not doing that. Huh? I'm not doing that. A quarterback playing for the New Orleans Saints, me comparing him to a quarterback playing for who is that? For Seattle. Wonderful coach. Number 1 defense in the NFL. You got the offensive player of the year in Jackson Smith and Jigba. No, I'm not comparing a quarterback playing in New Orleans to that, you're in two completely different situations. No, I'm not doing it. Now, I will say this. I will say this. I will say this. Even if you're on a bad team, if you're truly good, there should be moments where you show that. You may not be able to win consistently. I get that. But if you're a special player, there should be moments in a game, moments in the season where people see, wait a minute, they're pretty good. They're just on a bad team. That's what people should be saying about you. If you're good, they should be saying, nah, he's good. He's just on a bad team. And they're saying that because you've made certain plays to make people say, whoa, did you see that? Wait a minute. I think he's pretty good. He's just on a bad team. When I looked at the top 99 quarterbacks, I looked at the active quarterbacks. Jalen Hurts is 75, which some may say that's pretty high. For him to only be 27 years old and already considered a top 80 quarterback ever, that may not be such a bad. Joe Burrow is 66. Jared Goff is 63. Dak Prescott is 59. Josh Allen, 35. Lamar Jackson is 28. Russell Wilson is a top 25, according to Bleacher Report, is a top 25 quarterback of all time. I'm not saying you have to agree with that. Matt Stafford is 20. Matt Stafford is the highest, I was going to say the highest ranked active quarterback, but Aaron Rodgers is 5. We don't know if he's retired or if he's still playing. Don't know. So technically it's Aaron Rodgers. There are some quarterbacks that are tricky. Cam Newton is 43. One of my favorite quarterbacks of all time, Randall Cunningham, is 39. Eli Manning at 24, that's a tricky one. That's a high ranking, y'all. They're saying Eli Manning is a top 25 quarterback ever. Eli is a tough one. He's got the Manning name, okay. All three of the Mannings are in the top 99. Archie was, I forgot what Archie was, 80 something. Archie was in the 80s. Peyton is in the top 3. Eli's 24. That's amazing. All 3 are in the. But Eli won 2 Super Bowls and he was the MVP of both Super Bowls. What makes Eli tough to evaluate is those 2 postseason runs. I'm not even saying the regular season. The 2 years they won the Super Bowl, Eli didn't have a great regular season. You have to keep in mind, Eli Manning was never an All-Pro. His entire career, he was never selected All-Pro, ever. So he never had an elite season where he was considered, he's one of the best quarterbacks. Because if he was ever considered one of the best quarterbacks in the league, he would have been an All-Pro. That's what the All-Pro team is. First team, second team. He would have been selected All-Pro. So he was never considered one of the top. But those 2 postseason runs, and he beat who most consider the greatest quarterback ever, Tom Brady, in both of them. And he got MVP of both of those games. So I don't know how you view Eli Manning. Never been an All-Pro, but won 2 Super Bowls. It's a tough career. Jim Kelly now. I like Jim Kelly being at 22. I wouldn't have had a problem if Kelly would have been top 20. The Buffalo Bills get a hard rap for losing those 4 straight Super Bowls. To get to 4 Super Bowls, man, that's tough, y'all. To get to 4 consecutive Super Bowls, that's tough. I'm growing more and more respect, because this was before my time. Fran Tarkenton, I was watching a documentary on Fran Tarkenton the other night. They got Fran Tarkenton as number 13. The first or the original dual threat quarterback. Minnesota Vikings, New York Giants, Minnesota Vikings. Fran Tarkenton got the Vikings to 3 consecutive Super Bowls. They didn't win it. They didn't win one, but he got them to 3 consecutive Super Bowls. Fran Tarkenton was nice. And I mean nice. I was going to say I feel like he's underrated, but they got him at 13, so I can't really say that. I just feel like he's not talked about enough. Fran Tarkenton is not talked about enough. He's not. Dan Marino is number 10. He's the only quarterback in the top 10 without a Super Bowl ring. Only one. That lets you know how nice Dan Marino was. Now, when I got to the top 5, I'm not going to say top 5. I found the top 4 to be very interesting. I found the top 4. Why do you say that, Coach Jerry? First of all, Bleacher Report, the 5th quarterback of all time is Aaron Rodgers. You said, what about John Elway? They got John Elway at number 6. Rodgers is at 5. Number 4 surprised me. I was a little surprised at number 4. Number 4 is Patrick Mahomes. Because when it comes to the GOAT debate, all I've ever heard is Tom Brady, Joe Montana, Patrick Mahomes. That's all I've heard. So when I saw Patrick Mahomes at number 4, let me see what does Bleacher Report say about this. You can write a book about Patrick Mahomes' career highlights and his role in the Kansas City Chiefs' dominance from 2018 to 2024, though here's why he's already one of the greatest to play the game. By age 30, Mahomes won 2 league MVPs, claimed 3 Super Bowl MVPs, led the NFL in passing touchdowns and QBR twice, and passing yards once. In terms of postseason production, Mahomes is 6th in passing yards and 2nd in passing touchdowns, which is better than any signal caller with more than 6 playoff starts. At number 3, they have Peyton Manning. I was surprised to see Manning ahead of Mahomes. Manning has 3 Super Bowls. I'm sorry, Mahomes has 3 Super Bowls. Manning has 2. I was surprised to see that. Now they got Joe Montana number 2 and Tom Brady number 1. I've told you guys before, Joe Montana to me is the all-time great. 4 Super Bowls, 4-0 in the Super Bowl. Never threw an interception in the Super Bowl. I said never threw an interception in the Super Bowl. His team scored at least 20 or more points in every Super Bowl. Tom Brady's team didn't do that. Tom had some ugly Super Bowl wins. Tom had some games where his team scored 13. Tom had some games where he didn't throw a touchdown. Joe Montana threw a touchdown in every Super Bowl. Now, obviously, he had games where he threw more than, but he at least threw a touchdown in each Super Bowl. Like Joe, the offense showed up they didn't score less than 20 in any Super Bowl. The offense showed up every Super Bowl. Tom's did not. Tom won on defense sometimes, and that's fine. You win, you win. Then I look at the era that Joe played in, where you could hit the quarterback even while he's throwing. That's a whole different presence in the pocket, y'all. To drop back, where's my football? To drop back knowing, see now, if you do this now, those D linemen, those linebackers, that secondary that's blitzing, they got to hold up. Because if they hit you when the ball is released, flag. Joe Montana's day, I don't care if you did throw the ball, knock his head off. That's a whole different. If I have to drop back knowing at any moment they can knock my block off, that's a different feel in the pocket. That's a complete versus me knowing you can't dive at my knees, the Brady rule. So I know my knees are protected. I'm a little more comfortable. You can't jam my receivers up and knock them off their routes like you used to, so they got a better chance of getting open. And when I release this ball, you can't touch me. So I feel a little more comfortable in the pocket versus those monsters coming and knocking your head off. I got Joe Montana number 1. I got Brady 2. Who would be 3? Mahomes or Manning? That's tough. I may put Mahomes 3rd and Manning 4th. I may do that. This has been another episode of the Coach Cherry Show. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please hit that like and subscribe button. New episode every single week, the Coach Cherry Show. If you want to listen to audio, it's on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Samsung Podcasts, Amazon Music, Patreon, and iHeartRadio. Thank you so much for tuning in. Until next time, signing off, Coach Cherry. God bless you.
Now a big smile like I'm winning in spades. Every day I see how the game's being played. But they don't want to tell you, I call it charades. Don't let the negatives persuade.